Hello, YouTube. So, today we're going to be taking a look at the spread of Delta around the world. Now, Delta, of course, started off in India, where there was a huge spike and a huge spike in deaths, and then it sort of seems to have petered off. However, just like the original wave in China, it then started to cook up elsewhere in the world, most notably in places like the UK, where cases have almost hit peak cases of the last wave. However, there is a conspicuous difference that whilst cases have indeed almost got to what they were previously, it looks like they're actually going down now. I think this might be good news for the UK. Deaths didn't match pace with this. The deaths didn't even make it into three digits, whereas in the previous wave, the deaths were in four digits. So that's, you're basically an order of magnitude difference in the death rate, which is mostly, I think, due to the fact that there is some huge amount of vaccination that's happened in the UK. UK is, whatever, 60 million people, 80 million vaccination doses. So that looks fairly hopeful. That being said, yeah, the number of people in the UK who are anti vaxxers is depressing. So, again, we've had some anti vaxxer protests where it really is just depressingly stupid. There's nothing social about distance. Well, yes, but also human contact increases the spread of contagious diseases. It's not exactly the most difficult thing to understand. Or when tyranny becomes law, resistance becomes duty. Well, yeah, kinda. But you extend this thing to other aspects of life, and we already live in the tyranny of speed limits and street lights, and whatever, traffic lights. People accept the tyranny of the traffic lights because, whilst they are an imposition, they do also kind of save lives. And the same is basically true of vaccines. That all you're really doing with a vaccine is you're injecting some protein fragments which are sort of stimulating your immune system to create some antibodies, which gives you some resilience to, if your body's actually exposed to a contagious version of the virus. So yeah, I mean, you apply all of these things like why are they just selectively applying this to, to fighting a contagious disease? Why is it only tyranny when you're fighting a contagious disease? Why do you not apply this same line of logic to road signs or parking laws? Why shouldn't I be able to park and drive wherever I want on whatever side of the street that I want? Blah blah blah. Anyway, so ignoring the idiots like that. Okay, back to Delta. So it's spreading like crazy across all of Europe. Like with France, which is experienced a significant uptick, not a significant uptick in deaths, which is good, or Italy, where they're experiencing a significant uptick, not an uptick in deaths. Deaths usually lag, a couple of weeks on the infection cases, which is the red one here. However, you take a look at places where there aren't large scale vaccinations. Like, say, for instance, Russia, where they have a large uptick in cases and a large uptick in deaths. Or in Indonesia, which is almost one of the worst in the world at the moment, where they have experienced a massive spike in cases and a massive spike in deaths. Almost world leading stuff, this at the moment. That 1,500. That's more deaths than America at the moment, I think. So America is one I'm salt and pepper on, hot and cold on, in that America's actually not that bad for vaccinations. you take a look at the UK, and there's somewhat more vaccinations than there are people, which means that people are partially double dosed. Um, and that works out okay for the UK. America also has a very strong anti-vaxxer movement. So their cases are spiking at the moment. These are going to go ballistic over the next couple of weeks. Hopefully, the deaths doesn't match pace. I mean, deaths in America is a few hundred a day. Um, and it's going to be a real test for, um, I mean, you don't need many like many like this, and they can keep up the spread of the virus for quite some time. I mean, there is the added thing that viruses have a propensity to mutate. So going all the way back to the 1918 pandemic, I think it was the Netherlands got it really hard in the first wave. A lot of cases, but not so many deaths. The first wave wasn't so fatal. Then it mutated into a second wave. I guess you would call it beta. And beta was much more fatal for people aged 25 to 40. And so bizarrely enough, even they'd been hit really hard with the first wave, they had partial immunity to the second. And that's basically what you're getting here with the vaccine, is if you've got lots of vaccinations, the second wave isn't hitting home as hard. And we've got to hope that there's still an awful lot of virus in the world, that at some point this doesn't mutate into something that, for which the vaccine is less effective. Because if you hit that point, then this can still go south. It really can. I'm just hoping it doesn't. In fact, can we get up the world cases? I don't know if the world cases deaths are going up or not. Good. There we go. World case deaths is actually sort of, it's not far off max. I mean, this is, come on, we had it there for a second. It's fairly slow to refresh, is the John Hopkins page, but you saw what it was like. That it was kind of plateaued on the deaths, and we're currently at 4 million. Still quite a lot of people. Anyway, so let's keep our fingers crossed that the crazies don't ruin it for us all. And with that, I wish you, happy vaccination and good luck in the pandemics to come.